Welcome back to another episode of Sit Down on Guard. I'm your host, David Krayden. When we come back, what's happening in the U.S.? It's absolutely frightening.
Ho, 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 ho!
Yeah, little reminder, Christmas might be over, New Year's might be over, but the store is still open. And 15% discount still in effect. For those of you who missed it, we've kept it on for another week here. So lots happening. I don't know about you, but when I saw the events in New Orleans, the French Quarter, where I've been, Bourbon Street, one of my favorite places in the world, actually, and the incredible events in Las Vegas, a Tesla tank exploding. It looks like it was an unfinished job. We now know these two events were connected because both of these individuals involved were at the same army base. Now, Donald Trump has been criticized for saying this has something to do with the illegal immigration at the border because they're saying, hey, these guys weren't immigrants. The point is, folks, if this can happen when these people aren't immigrants, what about all of these terrorists who got across the border in the last 4 years? Why do they just wait until January 1st, 2025? I mean, why does this strike you as strange, is what I'm saying. When you see this, do you say, why does the FBI say this isn't a terrorist attack, and they put on their DEI perfect individual, whom we'll see a little later, with the little nose stud, to say that, hey, this is not a terrorist attack, folks, after the mayor of New Orleans says it is. There's so many problems here that, do I think this was a planned event? I can't say that. But there's something very suspicious about this. And of course, we're less than 3 weeks away from Donald Trump's inauguration. The deep staters want Donald Trump to fail. They want an American equivalent of the Emergencies Act, which they have. They can implement through the Department of Homeland Security. That's what's behind all of this. And right now, there's an incident at Capitol Hill in Washington. The police have cordoned off the whole front entrance. What's going on? Well, it's only January 2nd. I tell you, folks, this is very, very concerning. Anyway, I'm going to start with this slide because I think this is how unreal the Biden administration continues to be. We're going to give Liz Cheney the second highest award for valor. Because of all of her hard work as the vice chairwoman of the January 6th Kangaroo Court, where, of course, she has been accused of badgering witnesses, telling witnesses to lie, telling witnesses what to say. The whole experience was a joke. But hey, that doesn't stop them. Let's have a look at some of the slides here. I just found this incredible. This is why I'm so late today, because I've been trying to get my grip on this story here, which I find, just beyond reason. Here, let's start with and in a go. Of course, I know from the post-millennial, as you say, I looked into the background, Matthew A. Leibelsberger, a 37-year-old from Colorado Springs who drove a Turo-rented Tesla and blew up at the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas in a huge explosion. Liebesberger is also a U.S. Army veteran, like the New Orleans ISIS terrorist suspect. Liebesberger's LinkedIn is no longer online, but there are ghost remnants of his background: Special Forces Intelligence Sergeant, Defense Analysis and Strategic Studies degree. It's very unusual to have a degree in the U.S. Army and be a sergeant, by the way. Usually that's instant officer class material, unless you really want to stay in that job, unless you really want to stay as a non-commissioned member, and sergeant would be an NCO, non-commissioned officer. Very interesting. Denver 7 reporter Koney Kovalevsky says Liebesberger served at the same military base as New Orleans jihadist Shamad Dinjaber. No, sorry. Yeah, Shamsud Dinjaber. I still haven't got these names right. Now, what did Donald Trump say? And we'll get to that in a minute. But interestingly enough, these New Orleans terrorists donated to Democrats. It's incredible. Just like the would-be assassin of Donald Trump, not the one in Pennsylvania, but the one in Florida, just outside of Donald Trump's golf course. You recall that one? That guy was also heavily linked to the Democrats, and he had a Ukrainian connection too. And this guy does too. This is what is absolutely fascinating here. Now, the special forces operative was also into the trying to sign people up to fight in Ukraine against Russia. And how does this happen? I mean, how does this happen? Ask yourself this. The Airbnb where the terrorist was staying burned down in a fire this morning. An Airbnb where the suspect who allegedly drove into a crowd at a New Year's celebration in New Orleans was staying burned down. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Now, I want to show you a bit of this news conference here. Before we show you how incredibly strange the FBI is getting, and I mean strange.
Morning. First of all, we do know that the city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack. It's all still under investigation. You'll hear more after me. However, I have been in direct contact with the White House, with Governor Landry, and of course a unified command who is present here. This is not a terrorist event.
The mayor just said it was. Here's our DEI FBI agent. Is this an FBI agent? Wow.
And what it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found, and we are working on confirming if it's a viable device or not.
Good morning.
Sorry, does this remind you at all? Does this remind you at all of what we saw during the first assassination attempt on Donald Trump, when we had all of these incredible Secret Service agents who seemed to be hired simply because they weren't white men, and that is what is happening consistently here. I want to back up here.
And of course a unified command who is present here.
This is not a terrorist event. What it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found, and we are working on confirming if it's a viable device or not.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this thing explode in Las Vegas, for instance.
Copy.
That is incredible. There's another view of it here. Something seemed to go wrong with this attack in Las Vegas because I don't think this was supposed to be a suicide mission. That's what it turned out to be with the driver. But you know, clearly this was not just some guy parking his car in the front of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas. There was definitely something going on here, which is, absolutely frightening. And I just want to find this other video, which I have for you from Senator Kennedy. Let's watch this. Watch a bit of it anyway.
New Orleans is Republican Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Senator, thank you very much for taking some time out for us. We know that you're very busy talking with law enforcement on the ground. There are a lot of folks in this country tonight that are afraid of what's happening in New Orleans. And I know that you're trying to get answers tonight as police search for other potential suspects, possible co-conspirators tonight. By all accounts, with this new surveillance video we have now, with what we're learning from police, this sounds to be some sort of sleeper cell, a terrorist cell on U.S. soil. Is that what you're hearing?
Now, of course, this is John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy, Republican from Louisiana, probably the funniest guy in the Senate. Great wit. He's very low key here. But it's interesting. He actually went to the FBI news conference and he interrupted it because they were giving the usual non-answers. Why does the FBI now think they are the means of government cover-up? Much like the RCMP in Canada is in Justin Trudeau's pocket. The FBI has been in the pocket of Joe Biden for 4 years. And it's like they don't want Trump to come in because he's not going to be playing the same game. Is that what you're beginning to see here? Is that there really is a deep state, capital D, capital S, and it really doesn't want to relinquish control of the government. It's in control. Joe Biden is not really the president. The deep state has been in control for 4 years. They don't want to give it up. They do not want to relinquish command to Donald Trump, who will be a true commander in chief. They want to continue to keep their hands on the levers of power. And this is what's going on here.
Well, there's a fine line between anger and grief, and I'm pretty much straddling that line right now. If you don't believe in objective evil, all you need to do is go walk about 30 or 40 yards that way. I'm here for two reasons. Number one, these are my people, and these are my people's guests. Number two, I don't want to hear from anybody in the federal government that they don't have the resources. Now, the White House, the FBI, Justice, Homeland Security are in charge now. We're cooperating with them. I want to give them a reasonable period of time. There's a lot of information out there. Some of it is actually true. I want to give them a reasonable period of time, but they need to saddle up and ride. We need to find out what happened here, and it's not going to be covered up. We're going to tell the American people exactly what happened, and that's why I'm down here.
Yeah.
We know a lot more than what's being reported, Aisha, but they are in the middle of an active investigation, and I don't want to do anything to screw it up.
Okay.
But I'm also not going to let them take the pressure off.
Okay, got it.
No, he's trying to say at the same, he's saying I don't want to get blamed for compromising an active investigation. But by God, I don't think I'm going to let this happen again, where a government bureaucracy covers it up. Now, God, this could be just the beginning of a series, a raft of events. And I've said this about Canada too. Justin Trudeau will try the same thing in Canada to invoke the Emergencies Act again, declare an emergency, whether it's going to be avian flu. We've seen that in the past. They prepared the report for the next pandemic, the next disaster, the next catastrophe, so the government can usurp control. And maybe just pause the election for as long as Justin Trudeau wants to.
Senator, you did promise transparency earlier in the press conference that you took part in this afternoon. Are you getting the sense that the FBI had been tracking this suspect, or are you getting the sense that they perhaps somehow missed this?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that, but I shouldn't. I'm going to say it again, Aisha. We're giving the FBI and Homeland Security a reasonable amount of time to do their job. And by God, they're going to do their job, and they're going to catch these people.
Is the
we're
FBI
going to know a whole lot more in the next 4 to 8 hours.
Senator, is the FBI being transparent with you?
You know, you never know. You just never know what they're not telling us. But I know how to probe pretty hard and get the information. I'm not interested in placing blame or saying who was right or wrong. I just want to catch these sons of bitches who did this.
Yeah, there is an active manhunt, it sounds like, right now for some of these. We don't know how many. We were told a range of suspects, perhaps 3 or 4. We know there's surveillance video out there showing some of these folks laying down IEDs around the French.
They think they're 3, maybe 4.
Okay.
I was disappointed early this morning. Someone with the FBI said very confidently, there's no chance this is a terrorist attack. Well, they've taken that back, thank God. They were a little quick on the trigger. But we think now that there were probably 4, maybe 5 people involved.
Yeah. So let's be realistic here. Just you're a straight shooter. So shoot straight with the people of New Orleans and Louisiana right now. Governor Landry says that there will be a Sugar Bowl tomorrow afternoon, that he'll be there and it will be safe. Is that realistic right now, given the circumstances?
We decided to postpone it by 24 hours, 1 day. The governor made that decision. He's doing a great job. He's in charge here at the state level. And I want to be fair to our federal officials and give them a chance. But, you know, I sat there and watched a 21-year-old kid outsmart the entire Secret Service of the United States and almost kill a former president and soon-to-be current president.
Right.
And we still don't have information. And that's not going to happen this time. By God, it's not going to happen this time. I will chase these people like they stole my dog until we find out what went on here. But I want to be fair and work with them, and let's give them a chance to catch these guys or gals. One may have been a woman.
Is New Orleans safe tonight?
Yes, but we're still in the process of tightening up security. We're still in the process of doing everything that we possibly can. The governor's called out the National Guard. We've got more FBI coming. We've got Homeland Security people. We've got state troopers who've done an awesome job. We've got the NOPD. We're doing everything we can. But like I say, there's a lot of information out there. Some of it's accurate.
Okay. Well, we hope that you will continue to keep us apprised of what you learn there on the ground, and we appreciate you taking some time for us tonight. Senator John Kennedy.
I'm just so sorry. I'm just so sorry to all those folks who lost loved ones and have loved ones in the hospital. I'm sorry, but by God, we're gonna get this straight. We're gonna chase these guys down.
Okay. Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, thank you very much for joining us.
So what did Donald Trump say in response to this? This is very crucial. And because he's been criticized by the left, obviously, immediately, but he's been criticized for having the wrong focus. Let's read what he said. Our country is a disaster, a laughing stock all over the world. This is what happens when you have open borders with a weak, ineffective, and virtually non-existent leadership. The Department of Justice, FBI, and the Democratic state and local prosecutors have not done their job. They are incompetent and corrupt, having spent all of their waking hours unlawfully attacking their political opponent, me, rather than focusing on protecting Americans from the outside and inside. Violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government and our nation itself. Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen to our country. The CIA must get involved now before it is too late. I'm not sure why he would say that. The USA is breaking down. A violent erosion of safety, national security, and democracy is taking place all across our nation. Only strength and powerful leadership will stop it. See you on January 20th. Make America great again. Now, does he have any sense that this is aimed at him? Because he's talking, of course, in the past tense there, where he's saying that, they are after me with lawfare. Does he have a sense that these events are being triggered by inside players? That's that, and there's Donald Trump's statement on X and on Truth Social. He doesn't say that, but he alludes to the fact that this is an immigration problem. Some people have said, well, no, it's not an immigration problem because these guys were not immigrants. What does this have to do with open borders? Well, listen to this interview here. I find this fascinating because this is the Sean Ryan show. This is Sarah Adams. Sean Ryan, of course, ex-Special Forces guy. She's ex-CIA. And they're talking about how the open borders is going to have an impact on national security. So if you think it's just this event disproves that terrorists got across the border during the last 4 years of Joe Biden's non-existent border, no, this is only the beginning. Let's listen to this.
How many fighters do you think we can expect in each attack?
Well, the 1,000 is all of them. So we're calling it's an Al-Qaeda planned attack, but within those 1,000 terrorists, some of them are ISIS because they want ISIS to be blamed. I think the more of the fighter types are going to be ISIS because then if they're caught, then they talk, I'm ISIS. I think more of the suicide bombers are going to be Al-Qaeda.
You think these attacks will happen simultaneously throughout the United States, or will they be one day here, next day here, another one?
No, this was not recorded yesterday. This is what is fascinating about this. This is an interview that's about a month old, and they're talking about what could happen. And we've seen this being covered by a lot of people. The idea that there's going to be a series of events take place right before Donald Trump becomes president to try to hamstring his presidency, to try to force him into a difficult position, just like COVID did. COVID arguably, destroyed the last couple of years of his presidency, when so much more was possible if this artificial pandemic hadn't been foisted on him. And that became the focus of everything in the administration. But do you get a sense that this is happening right now, either because the current government doesn't want to leave or because they want to destroy the incoming administration? Let's listen to some more of this interview.
Over here next week.
So they want them coordinated. I don't know if coordinated means all at the same time, or if coordinated means we do it Monday, we do it Tuesday, we do it Wednesday, we do it Thursday, we do it Friday, just do 5 straight days. So, but they want it coordinated.
What kind of places do you think they're going to target?
So This is what's complicated. So Al-Qaeda's preference, as you can imagine, is symbols of the U.S. or anything that causes economic damage, right? So capital is a great symbol. I feel like bridges or any kind of public transportation always matters because it puts costs against us and it causes fear. But here's where it gets complicated. So remember, the terrorists might have their goal is they're going to attack the metro in DC, right? But remember, some of these terrorists are going to be ISIS. And remember, they can change location. So the ISIS guy might go down the metro and say, there's not many people down here. I'll kill 20, but there's a event going on. I'm going to go up there, right? Because ISIS is a little different. ISIS just wants mass casualty. In my opinion, terrorists in general just leaving Afghanistan, a lot of them are coming up through the Darien Gap to the border. And there was a big push, right? Get in the U.S. while you can. Now, not all those Al-Qaeda's attackers, right? But they came in with fake Afghan passports. They came in with fake Syrian passports, fake Turkish passports. Those are the kind of the three preferences because they're easiest to get. And then, if our Border Patrol agents, a lot of them haven't been overseas, right? If an Egyptian shows up at the border with a Syrian passport, is he going to know that person? Was he?
No, he's not. He's not going to know that. And clearly they didn't. But I'd like to know why all of these terrorists, we know terrorists were getting through, not only through Mexico, but through Canada. And that's one of the reasons Donald Trump has been talking about get your border security in order, Canada, because terrorists are getting in through the northern border. But we know the terrorists have been getting through. So why have they bided their time? Is there some planning and preparation? Is there premeditation with the deep state, with elements of the current Biden administration? Are they working in tandem? I tell you, it looks at times like they are, because suddenly it's 2025 and we've got terrorist attacks again. We've got the ISIS flag again. When's the last time we saw the ISIS flag? Where are we here? All right. New Year's Eve, and this is from the New York Post. Incredible. The FBI hid the ISIS flag. But of course, we know the CIA has been working with ISIS in Syria. You see how corrupt this is. This is so ungainly. This is so distorted. Why did the FBI hide the ISIS flag? Why would they want to somehow pretend ISIS wasn't involved? We haven't seen ISIS flags in a long time. And of course, here's another shot of that Tesla going up in smoke. But I want to leave you with this one, because if you think you can take the FBI seriously, you think they're going to do a job here that's not going to be distorted and influenced by the deep state and by a Department of Justice that is 100% behind Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and that worked very hard to destroy Donald Trump over the last 4 years. If you think the FBI is going to be doing a credible job here, think again. Because this is the FBI today. I saw this, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, they're just a fun bunch of guys at the FBI, And yeah, they're just so into the Taylor Swift, man. They're just so into the friendship bracelets. And, they could be working for Justin Trudeau. And that's what Justin Trudeau was doing while Montreal was having a riot. Justin Trudeau was boogieing at the Taylor Swift concert in Toronto, exchanging friendship bracelets with teenage girls. How old is he? But that is everything the FBI is about today. Taylor Swift and friendship bracelets, DEI, and incompetence. That's what the FBI stands for. And fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy month, people. And we're going to be reporting on this every day. And it's going to be a bumpy month in Canada, too. Watch out for things happening on this side of the border. Be ever vigilant, people. I can tell you that. I can beg that. Be ever vigilant, because if you think Justin Trudeau and his deep state are going to just roll over because the people say they want to change, don't be so sure. Thank you for watching today. Please like the broadcast, subscribe. We want to hit 40,000. And share this broadcast, share this channel with your friends and family. I appreciate it. It helps us so much. We can't do it without you, and nor would we want to. We'll be back again tomorrow. And yes, 10 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be back to the old time. Thanks so much for watching. Continue to resolve to resist as we do our best to give you all the news you need to know.